Good day, movie lovers everywhere. I'm Craig the Critic, and as you know, I've been following the DeFranco Nation Movie Club for the last few weeks, and it's been a lot of fun. Well, today we're looking at a movie, a romantic comedy, not my favorite genre, but we'll go with it. It's called Chaos Theory, starring Ryan Reynolds and Emily Mortimer. Before I get into the review, I want to read for you the synopsis that is provided by the production company that put this film out. It goes like this. Thanks to a strict regimen of timetables, to-do lists, and index cards, efficiency expert Frank Allen, played by Ryan Reynolds, lives his life exactly how he wants it. That is, until his well-meaning wife, Emily Mortimer, decides to set their clock back a mere 10 minutes. Suddenly, Frank's once safe and predictable life is spinning dangerously out of control, which is the one thing he never bothered to plan for. Guess what? That's not what the movie's about. I don't know who wrote this synopsis, but that's not the film I watched. Yes, there is a scene at the beginning of the film where Emily Mortimer's character does set back the clock as a little joke on her anal retentive husband, played by Ryan Reynolds, and then he is late for a big important lecture, and that's where that stops. He makes it to the lecture, it's late, he does lecture, but then he makes stupid choices. He drinks too much, he starts flirting with this attractive colleague. Next thing you know, he lets her use his hotel room bathroom because she doesn't like to use the public ones. And his wife ends up phoning him at the hotel while this strange woman is half naked coming out of the bathroom trying to get him into bed. And the wife hears the woman in the background and Ryan Reynolds stupidly is like, "Oh no, that's nothing, I gotta go, bye," click. And then of course he decides, I've gotta get out of this situation. So he leaves the room and he leaves the half naked temptress in his room, not thinking that his wife might call back. But she does because it's a romantic comedy. It's so funny and predictable and stupid. Well, he decides he's got to rush home and make it and be the faithful husband. And on his way back home, he gets into a car accident with a woman who's driving crazy. When he gets out of his car to find out what's wrong with her, he finds out she's pregnant. So he drives her to the hospital, gets to the hospital. She's already said to him in the car on the drive over, "I don't want this baby," and she won't tell him her name. Well, he gets to the hospital, they rush her into the OR, and then the nurse hands him a clipboard and says, "You're the father, you should fill out some information." He says, "Oh, I'm not the father, I don't know her. Just fill out what you can." So he fills out information about a woman whose name he doesn't know, and he just met, and he puts his name and information on it because he's retarded? Yes, because then of course the hospital calls his home. His wife thinks that he is the father of this other baby from another woman. And of course the hilarity ensues. No, it doesn't actually. It's not very funny at all. It's kind of serious and depressing, and more than anything, it's just plain annoying. Why? Because the chaos that is happening has been created by these characters making really stupid choices. It has nothing to do with time, it has nothing to do with plans or efficiency, which is what they try and set this film up to be. But it's not. Whoever wrote this movie is trying to use these comedic moments to ultimately get around to really what is the more interesting part of the film, which is, and I'll tell you because don't bother watching it, in all of the chaos, Ryan Reynolds takes a DNA test to try and prove to his wife that this child that the hospital's called about is not his. Well, of course, the tests come back and it turns out he has a rare genetic disorder that makes him sterile from birth, so he cannot have children. Well, that's good to prove that he did not have this other baby. The problem is he has a 7-year-old daughter with Emily Mortimer's character. So who's the father of the child? And of course, that's the interesting stuff in the film. But it's not funny, it's actually quite dramatic. And all the other stuff that happens in the film to get us to that one interesting moment is ridiculous, contrived. It's the kind of stuff that people wouldn't do. It's decisions that people don't make in the real world. And so it feels so false and frustrating to watch. Overall, as I said, this film is horribly written. The acting is great. I will say this. Ryan Reynolds and Emily Mortimer do a fantastic job with a really crappy script. And they actually kept my interest. I was ready to turn this movie off so often, except those two actors kept me watching. Chaos Theory, overall, pretty lousy film with some good potential, good acting, but overall the delivery is a real disappointment. Those are my thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts if you have any on this film, Chaos Theory. Please respond below. Let me know what you think. I'm Craig the Critic, and thanks again for watching. We'll catch you next time.